I would like to now invite Dr. Maithili Kolaru, the Assistant Professor at the College of Banking and Financial Studies, and colleague Shobhana Gupta, the Lecturer and Academic Coordinator for Degree Programs, to deliver a joint presentation, The Prospects and Risks of Industry 4.0, Issue and Implications. This is a research which they did, and they're going to present about the research findings.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers and the management of College of Banking and Financial Studies for giving us the opportunity to participate in this prestigious platform. The topic of this conference is very relevant, as we all know, future skills and HRD, artificial intelligence. Our topic is, our presentation is based on the topic, the prospects and risks of Industry 4.0, issues and implications. As I think in yesterday's session, a lot has been talked about this. So I will be taking you a little bit behind to the other industrial revolutions. So our presentation is divided into two parts. First part, I will be talking about the brief history of the other three revolutions. What is Industry 4.0, where and how it is originated, and how rapidly it has increased. And then the literature review of the previous researches, what we have done on this. And in the end, the methodology which we have used for this research paper. And then my colleague, Dr. Maithili, will focus on the prospects and risks of Industry 4.0. Before I start talking about fourth industrial revolution, let us remind ourselves with the other three revolutions. The first industrial revolution happened in mid-18th century, and it was about invention of steam engine. This revolution was a transition of a new manufacturing processes and going from hand production methods to the machines and increased use of steam and water power. In terms of employment, as we are talking about that also here, the textile was the dominant industry. The second industrial revolution, also known as technological revolution, was a phase of rapid standardization and industrialization. The advancement of manufacturing and production technologies enabled the widespread use of technological systems such as telegraph, telephones, and electrical power. This revolution has culminated the wave of globalization. The third industrial revolution was the computer age and digital revolution, which we are very frequently talking in this conference. It is characterized by the spread of automation and digitalization through the electronics and computers. The main inventions were internet and discovery of nuclear energy. Now, the fourth industrial revolution. The phrase fourth industrial revolution is introduced by Klaus Schwab, the founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum. The theme of the meeting of the World Economic Forum, which has held in 2016 in Davos, itself the theme was Mastering the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Later in a conference conducted by the Chicago Council of Global Affairs, he said that fourth industrial revolution is not an expansion or prolongation of the digitalization, but it is much more than that. According to Mr. Schwab, fourth IR is a combination of technologies, or we can say Industry 4.0 is a fusion of physical, digital, and biological entities. There are three reasons why today's transformations are not merely a prolongation of the third industrial revolution. First is because of its velocity, second is because of its scope, and third is its system impact. The speed of current breakthroughs have no historical precedents. The revolution is evolving at an exponential rather than a linear pace. A big challenge to governments and businesses and institutions is that how to just go through or how to cope up with this change, and they are not sufficiently prepared to cope up with the speed of this change because it has no physical boundaries. In a yesterday's, one of the speaker was telling that if suppose the students are taking one degree in some computer technology or something, and he or she will finish it within 4 years. So by the time the degree is finished, maybe there is a change in the technology. So how we are going to cope up with this fast-moving change, that is a big challenge. One of the main features of this revolution is that it will not only change what we do, but also to some extent how we think and how we behave. The possibilities of billions of people connected to mobile devices with unprecedented processing power and storage capacity and access to knowledge is unlimited. If we talk about education industry, as I am from the education, I always tell my students that learning is not difficult these days because we have a lot of resources available online. But it is important that how we should use those resources effectively. The possibilities are multiplied by emerging technological breakthroughs in the field of artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things, and 3D printing, and big data, and so on and so forth. Artificial intelligence we can see all around us, like for self-driving cars. And if we talk about education industry, most of our students are using the softwares which translates. So what is artificial intelligence means is that accumulation of information, analyzing it, and projecting it the way we want to at a given point of time will no more be considered as valuable in human faculty because simple gadget will do this much more better than human beings can do. So many of us will be out of our vocation, so unless we should think about something which the machines cannot do. Today we differ not only in the mental aspects, but we are changing the biological functionality also. It fuels up towards having clean air, water, soil, land, energy for all generation. It is not a cure or fix-it-all solution. Human beings are needed at all areas, but robotics can do much better in the factories and in manufacturing sectors. If the work is purely technological, machine can replace human beings for sure. They will do better job because it is of a repetitive nature. Human beings cannot repeat the things at the same pace or same efficiency as machines can do. But so the most of the factory jobs, we can say the robotics can do better, but managers still need to be human beings. So the younger generations have to think about the professions which are not replaced by the machines. Now I will talk about the literature review of our. So a lot of researches have happened on the fourth industrial revolution. Now I will brief the few of them which we have used in our research. Butler Adam elaborates the implications of artificial intelligence in economic development. And then Klaus Schwab has written a book. In his book, Fourth Industrial Revolution, he states that technologies are going to transform our homes, our workplaces, and our lives, and we are seeing that already. World Economic Forum report details the implication of current and future disruptions on employment across different industries, and which has been discussed a lot on this platform. Fonseca focused on the dot access of information and strengthened mobility due to rapid growth in communication and information technology. And Feinstein explains the Industrial Revolution in general. The author states how revolution has touched almost every aspect of our daily lives. At the end, I will explain the methodology used for this paper. The research is broadly based on the review of the periodical articles and seminar papers, books, and different reports on Industry 4.0 from influential consultancy institutions such as Boston Consultancy Group, and Deloitte has been also used. And then in addition, the other methodologies such as survey, interviews, and case studies with traditional quantitative approaches were also used. Now, I would like to call my colleague, Dr. Maithili, and my co-presenter to continue with the prospects and risks of Industry 4.0. Thank you for a patient listening.
Thank you, Shobna. And now I would like to talk about some of the prospects and risks that are associated with Industry 4.0. To begin with, let's talk about 3D technology, or what we know as 3D printing technology. 3D printing has changed the way manufacturing is done today. Inventors, manufacturers are able to save on time and technology used. 3D printing, in fact, is used to make shoes, it's used to make toys, tools, and even homes. Yes, 3D printing is used to make homes. There are some countries like Netherlands, India, Africa, Mexico, who have made houses, homes using 3D printing in less than 10 days, and they cost around 5,000 USD. What does this mean? This means that there is an opportunity to have homes which are affordable for all sections of society. So 3D printing and the fourth industrial revolution has helped people to come closer to their dreams of having a home. What about artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is something which is commonly, we talk very commonly these days called AI, and it has touched us all. It's used in learning, it's used in planning, it's used in decision making. Companies today use artificial intelligence for data analysis, for customer and employee engagement. In fact, in Amsterdam, AI has been used to help reduce the congestion in the roads. So there are different applications of each one of the technologies that have come about in the wake of the fourth industrial revolution. We also can look at robotics. Robotics has dramatically changed the way of our lives at home, work, and play. Today we are working with cobots, which could be our colleagues in the future. In some countries are already our colleagues. Robots are used in educational institutions, they are used in hospitals, they are used to help surgeons do surgeries. In many areas, robots have entered our lives. In fact, in Japan, there is an inventor who has developed robots for a specially staffed, robo-staffed restaurant. And the unique feature about this restaurant is these robots are controlled by people who are physically challenged from their homes. This is another great opportunity for including the marginal sections of society into the workforce. So no doubt the fourth industrial revolution is able to provide solutions to individuals and also nations. And these solutions are sustainable. So in different perspectives, we look and we can see that the fourth industrial revolution has changed the way we are living today. It has also resulted in creating access to education. Because of the usage of digital technologies and devices, computers and mobiles, we see that educational providers are able to reach out to different countries, underdeveloped countries also these days. Now let's look at some more things which are quite common, and we see them flying around in the air. Yes, it's our friendly drones. Drones are another revolution of the fourth industrial revolution, which have resulted in getting products and services closer to the customer. Drones are used also in search and surveillance. There are some countries who are using it to monitor the traffic and the weather. There are some countries also who have used drones more effectively during the pandemic for providing supplies to hospitals and also medicines to those who are in need of it. So we see that each one of the technologies which have come about in the wake of the Industry 4.0 have found themselves a way to make our lives easy. Not only the specific technologies like we talk about augmented reality, Internet of Things, but holistically also. Today we are all able to do our work much faster. What does this mean? This means that we have some time on our hands. Both the leadership and the employees have freed up time, which means this time can be devoted to think more strategically, more creatively, and more innovatively. So the fourth industrial revolution has a lot of prospects that have come about it. It has provided employment opportunities to people. It has increased the connectivity between people. It has led to creation of digital marketing where businesses have flourished. And it has also realized that you can have a lot of innovations which bring about provide more opportunities for entrepreneurship. So all in all, the fourth industrial revolution has a lot of promise with it, where it has been providing a lot of opportunities. And these new opportunities are calling for people to upgrade their skills. It's very important that all of us are able to develop new skills. And the most important thing is not only learning, but also unlearning. Because the pace at which technologies is changing is much faster than we are learning. None of the industrial revolutions, the previous ones, have come without risk. It's not possible. Similarly, the fourth industrial revolution also has some risks associated with it. Let us have a look at some of the risks that are associated with the fourth industrial revolution. One of the main risks is that we are all dependent on machines. Excessive dependency on machines is going to result in some behavioral changes in humans. In terms of how we adjust, it is going to affect our emotional stability, how we think, and how we are going to agree with people in the long run. So when we look at the challenges, another big challenge is which countries, which educational institutions, and how many people can really access these tools. Are they affordable? What is the price at which it is available? These are some of the challenges that the revolution is posing to us. Another challenge is the excessive usage of social media. Today, each one of us is using social media. We are on the social media, whether it is financial transactions, whether it is entertainment, work, communication, or play. So what does this mean? This means we are exposing ourselves to privacy issues, and also this would result in an increased incidence of cyber attacks. So these are some of the challenges that are associated with the fourth industrial revolution. Another important point to be noted is the industrial revolution could also result in income disparity, because you have certain sections, certain countries who can access this technology much faster than other sections of society. So this could result in increasing the disparities that are there in the countries. Another important point is the previous industrial revolutions also have not reached everybody at the same pace. The opportunities and benefits that the industrial revolutions brought are not accessible to all. For example, electricity. 1.2 billion people do not have access to electricity. What does this mean? This means that the second revolution, electricity is an invention of the second revolution, has still not reached people. So the same thing could happen with the fourth industrial revolution. We will not be able to reach all the people at the same pace. So these challenges need to be mitigated. They cannot be eliminated, but they can be mitigated and reduced if all of us work together. Educational institutions, associations, corporates, governments, bodies all need to come together and not compete, but collaborate together to try to find some solutions as to how we can take these resources to every corner of the world, so that people who are haves and the have-nots benefit from this exceptional revolution. Some more findings that we have are, the Global Information Technology Report clearly states that the GCC countries are better prepared than the BRIC nations in terms of welcoming the fourth industrial revolution. This is because of the regulatory, political, and business framework, and the extent to which the ICT usage is there in these countries by individuals and by businesses. Of the countries, Qatar has done much well. It has been able to integrate the resources better because of the access that they have to technology, advanced technology, and the resources that they are at their disposal. So it is important at this stage that we understand that we need to work together to be able to exploit and leverage the benefits of the fourth industrial revolution. There is another indicator which is known as Gini coefficient. This is a specific indicator which measures income inequality. When this is coupled with the fourth industrial revolution, it shows that we are going to see a lot of income inequality, not only between the developed and the developing countries, but within developed countries also, like Germany. In conclusion, I would like to say that our research paper focuses on the fourth industrial revolution, what are the prospects and what are the risks associated with the fourth industrial revolution, with each specific industrial revolution, with each specific technology of the revolution and in general. Our findings are based on secondary analysis. We have done a critical analysis of secondary data, consultancy reports, technology reports. We have also done electronic surveys, interviews, and qualitative analysis of the data. This research clearly shows what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages of the fourth industrial revolution, and how the economies and how the countries can move forward to take it ahead. Our scope is limited to a qualitative study, and it has not considered the quantitative ramifications of the fourth industrial revolution. Herein, there is a scope for other researchers to look into what could be the possible quantitative ramifications of the industry. Also, the risks and prospects can be studied for specific geopolitical environments. It could also be extended to various sectors. These are some of the references that we have used in our research, and I thank you all for the patient listening. Thank you to the organizers for giving us this opportunity, and to the management and administration of College of Banking and Financial Studies for giving us this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Maithili, and thank you, Dr. Shobana, for your presentation.